Hi, my name is Abby. I am an end-of-life doula, and I am the person behind Folding Paper Cranes LLC. I have a blog, foldingpapercranes.com. I will provide the link in the description. I just wanted to take a little bit of time to introduce myself and tell you what Folding Paper Cranes is, tell you what an end-of-life doula is, and just kind of introduce myself and talk about why you might want to peruse over to the website. So first, I'm an end-of-life doula, and end-of-life doulas, like our birth doula counterparts, which more people have heard of, birth doulas help women make a birth plan, labor through birth, and because they've been around longer, there are metrics that show that they reduce labor times, reduce pain, and reduce complications during labor. Pretty common these days to have a doula, or at least be considering having a doula for your birth. There's also, so now, if you haven't heard of an end-of-life doula or a death doula, or sometimes even a death midwife, you will more and more soon. If you haven't heard of us, there's more and more of us being trained all the time. There's more and more people using us, and you're going to hear it more and more going forward. We help people come to terms with their end of life, help them plan a legacy, help them plan a vigil, and help them labor through death. We help the family deal with their grief afterwards, or at least check in if we've done our job well during the dying process, if we've been privileged enough to be there for a significant period of time, then hopefully the family is faring fairly well. So Folding Paper Cranes, which is my business, is focused on writing vigil plans, specifically. I am a volunteer with hospice, and the other doula services I had always planned on doing pro bono. Folding Paper Cranes does vigil plans specifically. And they do vigil plans for anyone. They do vigil plans for people who are dying. They also do I do vigil plans for people who are not dying, who are healthy and young and have no expectation that they're going to die anytime soon. And I know what you're thinking. Man, she must be a blast at parties. And does she ever stop talking about death? So I am end-of-life doula, not because I'm totally morbid and fascinated with death. I am an end-of-life doula because I really love life, and that I want people to live their best lives. So writing a vigil plan for healthy people, young, healthy people that have no expectation of dying anytime in the near future, helps them focus when you've really sat and thought about what your death might look like, you can really think about what you want the rest of your life to be like. Also, when you've sat down and you've made this really amazing, beautiful plan about what your death is going to look like, it's a lot easier to accept that death is eventual, and that elephant in the room gets faced, and you find out that when you've made such a really beautiful plan, even when you're talking about your own death, it's not so scary. It's not so terrifying when you have something written so beautifully and so part of you that it really kind of takes away a lot of the fear of dying. So that's why I do it. On the surface, what makes me qualified to talk about, I'm not a mental health professional. I'm not a health professional. My scope of practice is sitting with people who are dying and talking with them. A lot of society has really kind of forgotten how to treat our dying. The people who are dying are so much sicker than they used to be. Thanks to advances in medical science, we have been able to prolong people's lives and help them through a lot of their illnesses and maintain their illnesses for a lot longer, and therefore by the time they are dying, they are really, really sick. And people don't know how to be with people who are really, really sick. I experienced a lot of loss when I was a teenager into young adulthood and then forward, you know. Somehow the scales tipped heavy on loss in my life, and I was always just the person that was there at the end. I was there to sit and watch movies, I was there to talk, I just was there. A couple years ago, an old friend of mine, we had reconnected, happened to reconnect shortly after he had gotten a stage 4 cancer diagnosis. And I just was that person that he talked to. And a couple weeks before he died, he was thanking me for being there all that time. And just having somebody to talk to and having somebody to rant at and having somebody to have theological discussions about what's going to happen to him after he dies, and not shying away from those subjects and just being able to be open and honest and interested and being just there. And my answer was, it's kind of my calling. It's why I'm here. Too bad there's not a job. And I Googled it, and lo and behold, there's a job, which was really, really helpful. To kind of give me a new path. I had suffered an injury. I had been a massage therapist for 8 years. I'd suffered a career-ending injury, and I was sort of lost and spinning out a little bit on what I was supposed to be doing with my life. And this really grounded me. It is very much a calling. For some people, their calling is being a kindergarten teacher. That is not my calling. Nor is it being a dentist, or my calling is also not being a taxi driver. Nope, I would not be good at those things. But this I'm good at. So that's who I am. That's who Folding Paper Cranes is. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description. I'll also link the tab specific for visual plans, and you can read what I've written there. I will be making more of these videos, and do all of the subscribe and follow and all of that social media jargon that we use now. Do all of those things. I'm on Folding Paper Cranes is on Twitter, Folding Paper Cranes is on Facebook. Now I have a YouTube page. Feel strange about that. So check it out. If you go to the visual plan tab, you can actually link at the bottom directly to my appointment page or software, and you can book an appointment directly online, and we can do it via Skype or FaceTime or Facebook Messenger, I would like to be able to see you, so that I can kind of read your face on how you are feeling about certain things that we talk about. It takes about 90 minutes to do a visual plan. I will do more videos on why you should do a visual plan, but again, this was just kind of my intro video. So by all means, check it out, see what you think. Thanks for watching.